Hello, everyone. You're listening to Those Other Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory.
I'm Victoria.
And we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values. All right, let's get into our weekly recap. Take it away.
Here are our stories that we believe that you need to know for the week. All right, first one. This has kind of been the big story of the week. Amanda Ensing is fighting with Sophora. Did I say her last name right? Ensing?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. So you gals need to follow her on Instagram. You spell her last name Ensing, but she's a beauty and YouTube influencer that Sophora has cut their ties off with. Amanda believes it's because she is a Christian and a conservative. To this day, their legal team has given Amanda no reason as to why they cut her. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. A customer made a comment on social media complaining that Sophora supports someone who is part of a dangerous MAGA group. Bum, bum, bum. Sophora then canceled her with this statement. Amanda shared content on social media that is not aligned with Sephora's values around inclusivity. We made the decision to cease all programming with Amanda. So, Matt, what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts. I think it's very dangerous to lump everybody that believes something so broad, because you can lump everybody that believes in a Christian. You can lump everybody that believes in something together in most cases, but something so broad as quote unquote MAGA, you cannot lump that person with, crazy people. Now, are there people who are racist, mean, evil that call themselves part of MAGA? Of course, but the majority are not. And you can't lump those people all together. So to say it's a dangerous cult, I'm sure that person is referring to the Capitol and that nonsense. Most people I know personally that are conservative were so against that. They were appalled, dismayed. It was awful. So to lump all those people together, I think is very dangerous. I also think it says something about Sophora that they went ahead and got rid of Amanda so quickly and without even trying to explain, or it seems like they didn't even try to talk to her about it.
Yeah, that's why I watched an interview of her that she did on Fox News, I believe. And she was like, yeah, I heard nothing from them. They were just all of a sudden they canceled, and they didn't give her really a reason why, other than they received this one complaint, and she goes, they received one complaint from a liberal that said that I'm part of a MAGA cult, essentially. So, I mean, it's just a shame. And I do find it interesting too. I don't know. Did you see where the country music star Luke Combs came out and said, it's not my place to tell you what you should believe and what politics you should follow?
I did see that headline.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. And I feel like
that.
And so then here's my question for you. Do you think all influencers, whether you're a conservative or not, should just be okay, I'm going to show you my brand. I'm a makeup artist. I'm just going to show you makeup stuff and kind of my life, but I'm going to stick away from politics. Do you think that's how it should be handled? Because I know we've complained on here about how many influencers that are liberal and telling their followers who to vote for and why they should vote for them and all this stuff. But we haven't really had the time to talk about, okay, from the other perspective, do you think Amanda should be talking about her political views? Not just Amanda in general, but specifically, but in general, anyone. Do you think it should just be, okay, no political views, no, don't tell people what they need to believe in, even though isn't that kind of their job as an influencer? It's okay, I believe in this makeup, you should use it too. What are your thoughts, Mal?
I think that everybody should freely be able to talk about what they want to talk about. I do think it is a very it's sensitive times. So, I mean, you have to pick and choose your battles. I have a friend who owns a business, and she doesn't even have social media because she just can't afford for someone to come and burn down her business. She can't afford, she has a social media for her business, but she doesn't have one for her personal, and she can't afford for all that to happen, which is so unfair. That's so wrong. I absolutely hate that. But like, also too, if I'm an influencer, I'm going to show you parts of my life. So, when I was on my influencer, I was trying to be an influencer for a little bit. When I was doing that, I mean, part of my life is, for example, attending my pro-life future meeting. I'm not going to not post about that. Of course I'm going to post about that. That's just part of my life. And if I just happen to also be into makeup, then I just happen to also be into makeup. I think people should just pick and choose whether they care enough about an issue to do something about it.
Yeah. So do you think there's a difference between, because you freely say your thoughts on social media.
Yes, I do.
And that's what you're known for. Amanda's not known for that. She's known for makeup.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a difference because between having having a political influencer versus just a generic influencer? I know oh god, who did we have on Tuesday?
Osiga
was talking about that being like a political influencer, and he was also talking about how I was like, yeah, like let's shout out your business, and he goes, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to tie my political beliefs to my business. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think that people, so I hate that you can't do both as a conservative. Liberals do it all the time. Demi Lovato is one of my favorite artists, and she's also liberal. She, as much as possible, as much as she can, she talks about Biden and Harris and X, Y, and Z. Like, she's a liberal.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? A better example, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift since 2016, perfect example. She's a singer and she's a liberal. I hate that you can't be a conservative and a makeup artist. I don't think that's very fair. And I think that's part of, and I've said this before, I think that's part of the problem. Part of the reason why I am very into part of the reason why I can talk so much is because, my whole life revolves around politics. But for example, like, I'm finishing up my fantasy novel. I do kind of wish I was known as that.
Wait, hold on. Let's step back.
This political leaning, because we need more people who are influencers that aren't just conservative influencers, but are singers that happen to be conservative. Like, that's what I wish we had more of. So, I mean, I wish it was like that. But the reality is, conservative influencers are famous because they're conservative, not because of any other talents that they might have.
Yeah. Well, she started out as being famous for makeup, and then it came out that she was conservative when she posted a picture with a Trump hat, I believe.
And that's what I mean. Like, I think that's good. Like, I think it should be more like that. But like, let's be honest. Who else do we know? Like, what other influencers do we know like that? I mean, we know Tim Allen is conservative.
That's true.
And Chuck Norris.
Chris Pratt, they tried shutting him down.
Yeah, but and look, we're only naming men. What about, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who else do we have?
I guess, like, where do we draw the line, though? Because, I mean, I follow you not for your political beliefs. Like, that's why, like, with these influencers, I follow you not for your political beliefs at all. It's like, where do we draw that line?
Same place Taylor Swift drew the line. That's what I mean. Like, I want us to be like that. Same place Taylor Swift drew the line.
Do you think it is okay for the influencers to say, like, these are my political beliefs?
Yeah, I think it's like, if it's part of your life, like, for example, like, let's say exactly what Amanda did. She just it was a picture with her husband or boyfriend.
I'm not sure.
Her significant other and the dog. They just happened to be wearing MAGA gear. That is a lie. I think that's fine. She didn't, and the crazy thing is, I don't remember seeing anywhere where she said she didn't write out a full-blown paper or a full-blown iPhone notes message about how she's so appalled by the left. You should vote for the right. This is really how she didn't even do any of that. Like, Taylor, like, that's what Taylor Swift did.
Yeah. So you're saying, as long as they can be who they are, as long as they don't tell their followers who to vote for. Do you think that's a good median?
I think that's a good medium, but once again, I still feel like they should be able to, if they want to write a paragraph. Like my whole thing is like Taylor, like I think Taylor Swift is a perfect example. We all know Taylor Swift for music. I have die-hard Taylor Swift fans that are die-hard Republicans. I think it should be the exact same way that Alex Clark, huge Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah.
We all know this. She's a die-hard Republican. Just how Taylor Swift is allowed to post about Biden, post about how she's just so appalled with everything that's going on, make a video about how she thinks Trump supporters are dumb idiots, and they'll the reality. One of my friends said this. She said it was such a slap in the face because all the people she was making fun of, those are who made her famous. But here's the thing: she's still famous, and those people who were insulted are still listening to her. So like, why can't we do the same thing? If Amanda wants to write a full-blown message, I mean, now she can do it. Now I feel like she's going to be known as like a conservative that happens to do makeup. And I really wish that we had makeup artists that happen to be conservative, because that's what she was before. But it's now she's gonna
it's like Grace too, because wasn't Grace known for some of her fashion influence, right? Grace Saldana.
I think so.
I think she was like an influencer before she became a conservative influencer.
Yeah. But like, see, we don't even know that full history, because I mean, now she's a conservative that happens to have been in fashion.
Well, even Bryson Gray too. Like everyone, he was a rapper. Like he was like OG 336 Boys, and now people only know him as the conservative rapper, not a rapper who is conservative.
Right. And I wish we could switch that. I don't know how, but I think part of the problem is the left. I'm just talking about Amanda. Amanda's base. I barely wear makeup, but I'm probably gonna. No, I am gonna support her and wear that makeup. But that's because I resonate with her as a conservative and as a woman. There's gonna be people on the left who probably would. The reality is, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna support her. I'm probably going to wear it a couple times, and then it's going to get old, and then that's just how it is. I don't really wear makeup.
Oh, I do. I mean, I don't have any on right now, but I wear makeup.
But like, I'm doing that for her. But the thing is, there's another girl who would do it and who would wear it all out and do all the stuff and then buy more every other month, but she's not going to do it because she's on the left. But it's not. So now all of her base pretty much is going to be just people on the right, which I personally wish that I wasn't like that. Like, I wish that there were other talents I have. My only talent, to be honest, is public speaking. And the only things I can speak about are conservative topics. If I'm being, science is not my thing. Math is not my thing. So like my whole audience is conservative people.
Yeah.
But I wish I could reach people on the left. Like I said, I'm finishing up a fantasy novel. Everyone should definitely read it when it comes out.
Let's talk about this, because I didn't even know you had a fantasy novel. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, time out. What's this fantasy novel?
Okay, so really quick. Wow, I guess this is my first official announcing it. This is good. This is going to hold me accountable. Just a side note, everybody listening, if you're planning to do a blog, a podcast, a lot of people have reached out to us about starting their own podcast. Make a date, announce it, because that holds you accountable. Anyway, so I actually have always written. I was the girl that would read and write in the back of the class instead of paying attention. So I've been doing that forever.
Me too.
Yeah,
I got in trouble. I was because my maiden name started with an A, and so I was always the front of the class. I remember in 7th grade, I got in trouble. I was reading Twilight in math class, and I'm very good at math. I majored in math, so I'm like, I know all this. So I'm just sitting there reading. The teacher's like, excuse me, put that away.
Yes. So that was me. I would do that all the time. So then I want to say 2016 for NaNoWriMo. For those that don't know, that is the National Writing Month. It's November. I was like, okay, I had done it 3 or 4 times. I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to do the 50,000 words. I know it. So I planned out this whole story, and I didn't do the 50,000 words. But I finished the story the December of that year. So December of January of the next year of 2017. And then I just kind of sat on the story because I wanted to go a different direction and I just got busy. And then the past couple of weeks, I've been like, you know what? No, I want to get this thing published. I really, really like it. My brother is an amazing writer himself, so he's helping me with some stuff. So I've been like working on that. And like, for example, like I just want, because that's like another side thing that I do. I would like it to be I'm a self-publisher, so obviously, it might not be on New York Times bestsellers, but I would like for people to read it and stuff. And I would like my audience to not just be Christian conservatives, because it's a fantasy novel. Like, I'm really into like mermaids and stuff like that. So like, that's what it's about.
Can you explain what the novel is? I want to hear a synopsis. I really do. Okay. I'm so intrigued.
Okay, so essentially it's about these two twins, and they are half mermaid, half human. One of them, so their backstory, let me backtrack. So the first half of the first novel is going to be their parents' like love story, and you find out about like how they, like where they came from, and like how their mother and their father met, because the mermaids and fairies live in a different realm and they have to come up to the human realm. So that's the first half. And then the second half is just about them finding each other. And then there's an impending war that's happening in the mermaid and fairy realm. And just like an overview, kind of like it, at first it was just like a silly little thing that I was doing. But then, as I've gotten like older, and I guess I don't want to say like have a platform, because it feels weird, because it's not like I have like this big platform. Like I have 80,000 followers and I'm responsible for what you believe in. It's not like that, but like just a few people have said things to me like, oh, I really like what you said. I looked up to you. And I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of pressure looking up to me. So I've decided that I actually want to make it have like some sort of message. So there is going to be, and I've like been working on, because fantasy can get dark. And I personally have been working on trying to make it more of like a C.S. Lewis, Ted Dekker, Tolkien type fantasy. Yeah. As opposed to, no offense, but like Stephanie Meyer, J.K. Rowling. Because like I was talking to my brother about the story.
I don't think Harry Potter's that dark. Well, I read it. It like...
I don't disagree, but like my whole thing is like, I was talking to my brother about the story, and like he made a joke and he was like, we wouldn't have been able to read this when we were kids. And then I was like, no, I would have wanted.
That's a good point. Yeah,
right.
I read it in college. I read Harry Potter in college because my mom wouldn't let me.
Right.
That's a good point.
Exactly. So I was thinking I would want young Mallory to be able to read this. So how do I do that? So I'm in like a Facebook group for Christian fantasy writers, and I've been talking to different people. Yeah, it's a whole like thing.
This is a whole genre. I didn't even know any of this existed.
Christian fantasy is a genre. It's a whole thing. And I've been talking back and forth about like how to make sure I'm not crossing that line, so that young Mallory would have been able to read it, and then that there's actually a message. And I'll just say this one little sneak peek. So like I said, it was something that I decided honestly recently that I didn't want it to just be like a little frilly story. I actually wanted to have a message. So there is going to be like a pro-life scene, because that is a huge part of my life. And I do think that's something that obviously I personally don't think your 8-year-old should be reading about it. But I mean, if you read it with your 8-year-old, then that's different. But it'll be a conversation starter. So like your 15-year-old, because I mean, let's be honest.
You're trying to target those middle school age.
Middle school, early high school. And like, to be honest, like, and I'm about to get on my soapbox and I'm going to get right off. But like Planned Parenthood has all this subtle stuff in their stuff. So why can't we have some pro-life subtle stuff in our stuff? So like, that is just one thing that I'm added. Like that scene was not in there at first, but then I was just thinking about like,
oh my God, I love it.
I continue to make this like, make it have a real message, make it have something that like, it's not just like a little frilly thing. Cause like in my head, I was just picturing like, so once again, I love mermaids. So I was just picturing all this like mermaid stuff and like, ooh, this will be cute. And like, ooh, these two people can kiss, I'm thinking all that. But then I'm like, no, if I'm going to write this, especially if it's under my name as the person I am today, there should definitely be some sort of like, when you close it, there has to be something that you get out of it. So yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait. I remember, oh God, I wish I remember. I remember reading a book. I think it was like in elementary school, and it was like a half human, half mermaid.
Ooh.
And I'm trying to remember what it is. I cannot.
Did she live in, did her mom like live in a hole in her house or something like that? And she had like a blowhole in her hair? Because I read that book.
I don't think so. crap. I'm gonna find this. All right.
Yeah.
Our second story. Okay, wrap it up. Amanda, we stand with you. We're boycotting Sophora with you. I've been an Ulta girl anyway, so I've never gotten Sophora. It's so expensive.
I don't think I've ever gotten
Ridiculously
anything from there.
expensive.
Yeah.
But anywho, all right, our next story, hashtag Free Britney, is trending again. So for 13 years, nearly every aspect of Britney Spears' life, including major financial, professional, and medical decisions, have been controlled by her father, Jamie Spears, through a court-approved conservatorship. Now it's the subject of a feature-length documentary from a team of journalists at the New York Times, premiering Friday on FX and FX on Hulu. Directed and produced by Samantha Stark, framing Britney Spears charts Spears' rise from plucky Star Search contestant to Queen Bee of TRL, as well as the high-profile unraveling that turned her professional troubles into a national punchline and culminated in the controversial conservatorship. Oh my god, that was a tongue twister. So yeah, so her the whole relationship of her father is going to be documented on a documentary. I'm excited. This is going to be good.
Yeah, me too. Huge Britney Spears fan. Grew up, was not allowed to listen to any secular music, so I didn't hop on the bandwagon until high school.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know I wasn't allowed to listen to it. I didn't think you would, because we were probably fifth? Not fifth.
Yeah,
grade,
we
five?
were young.
We're like kindergarten.
Yeah, we were in elementary school for sure. So when I could listen to it, huge fan. College, me and one of my friends, we would have Britney Spears jam sessions. Huge fan. Yeah, I think this will be good. I think if you guys remember a couple of episodes ago when I was talking with Landon Newsom about human trafficking in Hollywood, and I know this isn't about human trafficking, but I think it still wraps around the idea of
she has no
control.
Yeah, she had no control over her life.
Right. And I think that it's not the same thing as human trafficking, but I do think it's in the same category of the messed up stuff that's going on in Hollywood, because her parents did put her in at a young age. And I know her dad is very, very sketch. I know that I saw something too, and this blew my mind, but her voice, her voice is so sweet and kind of high pitched, but she does that that's done on purpose because that's cute and innocent. So her actual singing voice, she messed up her, to please all the people, she messed up her voice. Her actual singing voice is much deeper and like a Southern soul, because she's Southern.
Yeah.
It has more of a Southern soul flair to it. But when you high pitch it, it's so sweet and innocent that people like it. So her producers and stuff like that asked her to do that.
Oh, that's creepy. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a really interesting documentary, especially kind of going back with the human trafficking, and not saying that she was trafficked at all, but it was definitely, there was a lot of control around her life, and it makes sense why she did what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had no control. That was her only way to get control.
Yeah. And that happened 2007, right? Maybe.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, and we were in middle school, and I remember seeing that on TV, being like, "Oh my gosh, why would she do that?" But it's making sense now. And also too, you can only push people so far before they break. I think we forget that as humans, you can only push someone so far before they snap. And if you don't have well, I mean, even if you, here's the other thing too, I still feel even if you did have a good foundation in God, and she says she's a Christian, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good foundation in God, it is still very difficult to be in certain situations.
Yeah.
And she was, if she, and especially if she didn't have a good foundation in God, I can't even imagine. At least if you had God, you had some hope for after this life. But if you don't have God, whew.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. I'm definitely interested. You think you'll watch it? We can
absolutely. Is it free?
Oh, it's on Hulu.
Absolutely.
On Hulu and FX. Do you have Hulu?
I have Hulu. If it's free, it's for me. Free Britney.
Yeah.
Hashtag Free Britney.
Oh, too funny. Well, What have you been watching recently? Because I know that's gonna be something I'm gonna be watching. Have you watched any good shows recently?
Okay, I'm trying to think. Oh, my family has been watching Kim's Convenience. Have you seen that?
No, what is that about?
It's cute. It takes place, well, it's about this family. They're a Korean family. They live in Canada. Oh, okay, yeah,
What is it
sorry.
on?
Netflix.
Okay.
They're a Korean family. They live in Canada, and it's a husband and wife and a daughter and a son, and it's just like their little, I guess, adventures. They own a convenience store, and it's so funny. And like some of the stuff the dad says is just like my dad.
Oh my god, I remember. Yes, I've seen those previews and like the cousin comes or something.
Yeah.
That's
She's
funny.
Kawaii and everything, and like some stuff that the mom like said in it. I've been like, oh, that's literally my mom right there. That little thing. So it's so funny. Another thing my brother and I have been watching is I should have said this first, is Westworld. I know I'm behind. Yes, I know I'm behind, but it is really good. The last 3 episodes I had to watch and explain on YouTube. I had to watch someone explain it to me, but it's still really good. There were a few things that were a little confusing because it's jumping on, like, there's a bunch of timelines crossing and stuff like that.
What's the concept of it exactly?
The greatest concept in the world. Nobody judge me for saying that. Okay, so like if you have tons of money, you're a guest and you can go to Westworld. And Westworld takes place in like the Wild West. And there are hosts. So there's these robots that are completely lifelike. Like if there was a host in this room with me, you wouldn't be able to tell like who was human and who was not. And you can just live out any type of fantasy you want. So if you were to go there and you want to become like a cowboy hero, they will have a storyline. They'll have someone in the storyline because these robots they're very smart, or they have like technology in them to do like play out different storylines. So you would go and stuff will happen and you'll end up being able to shoot the bad guy, and then you'll get the girl and you'll be able to kiss the girl, and then you go and you can eat and this and that. Like it's literally living out any type of fantasy. It is on HBO, so there are moments that are unnecessary. That's what I call the naughty moments, unnecessary. You can still get the message across without showing someone naked.
Yeah.
Other than that,
it is so HBO.
Good. Like the storyline. Yeah. And there's another show, The Boys. I'm almost embarrassed to say I watch it.
Wait, really? I hear it's really good.
It's so good. But like,
is it raunchy?
It's like the plot is freaking fantastic. I mean, if you're into superheroes, you will go gaga over the plot. Okay, sorry, Siri.
Oh, Siri. Hey, Siri.
Yeah.
You will go gaga. Mine's talking.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, you will go gaga over the plot. It's just like there is just so many unnecessary like sexual nudity that just I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
So I try to fast forward through all that.
Yeah, isn't the girl from One Tree Hill in it too? I think plays Quinn.
I've never seen One Tree Hill.
Oh my god, it's based in North Carolina. Have you not seen One Tree Hill?
Is it really? Oh,
yeah, it's based in like it technically is One Tree, but they shot in Wilmington all 8 years.
I did not know
it's
that.
on Hulu. You need to watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I never saw that. Or what's the other one that I read? Like Dawson's Creek. I never saw that either.
I never saw Dawson's Creek. I know you're not a Gossip Girl fan.
Pretty Little Liars. No Gossip Girl.
But
I tried it. It doesn't interest me.
Really?
I want to be into
so
it.
Good. How many episodes have you watched?
I think I've done like maybe the first 5. Even like it just started.
Yeah, usually my rule of thumb, if you can't get into it,
boring to me.
Really, I thought it was so interesting. Yeah, usually if you don't, I say give it 6 episodes.
Like, and I'm their target. Oh, it's not even on Netflix. I was gonna look to see how far I got into it on
HBO
Netflix,
now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
And the thing is, like, I'm their target market. Like, Gossip Girl was made for girls like me because I love Pretty Little Liars, Riverdale. Obsessed, terrible.
Wait, really?
I love Riverdale.
I watched like the first 2 seasons, but like with the seed, I I don't
It
like
makes
the
no
CW
sense.
app, and it also doesn't make any sense. I've like
Yeah.
stopped a lot of. I stopped watching CW because of their app, because they used to have
Really?
everything. Yeah, their app is just awful. It's like there's
Okay.
because they put like everything's free on their streaming service, but it's just awful.
I
But
Well, you can watch it on Netflix,
yeah,
I
I can watch
think.
it on Netflix
Yeah.
now.
But Riverdale, like the first couple of seasons, oh, this is not that bad of a show. This is decent. That last season made no sense,
Yeah,
unrealistic, but I cannot wait for the next season. Like
because they
it's
do like what
still
a
like
4-year time jump, and I saw that like Veronica's married apparently, and like Archie's in the military. Yeah,
what I didn't
that's what the trailer. I saw that on the news. That's what the trailer had.
have to watch this trailer. That's crazy. Oh, that probably means that's the last season then. That's probably
No,
best.
I don't think it is. I thought I read that they have another season. I know Supergirl. They're ending Supergirl.
Good. I did not like Supergirl.
It was very cheesy. I just hate.
Yeah.
I hate when they do crossovers, like, because then I feel like, okay, I need to invest myself in Supergirl because I was big into Arrow and Flash. Like those are
Yes.
my two favorite. The guy that plays Oliver Queen and Barry Allen.
Mhm.
Whew,
Yes.
beautiful.
Barry Allen season 1, like if you're like, oh, Mallory, what's your type? Not even physical look. I'm just talking about personality. Barry Allen season 1 is my type, 110%. Like everything oh God, he was just so perfect. Now he's like super cheesy. Another show CW did that's kind of gotten cheesy, still watching it and we'll keep up. I will still tweet about it and I'll still be an avid watcher, but it has lost its way. And the crossovers I hate too, because like then I have to go to another show and I don't even understand like why this character is this way. And yeah.
I wish they didn't like I like the crossovers with Flash and Arrow. And then they just kept adding on to the universe. And like Supergirl, like I love the woman who plays her. Like I think she's very sweet and has a crazy story of abuse. Like she was abused by her husband, domestic abuse. But yeah, it's just very cheesy. And then like one of like the main guys left. I'm like, it's okay. Yeah. But yeah, I finished the morning show last night. That's on Apple TV Plus.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the one with Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, and Steve Carell.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, it was so good. I think they're only keeping it like one season. It's like a mini series, but essentially it's based on kind of this book written about the Today Show and Good Morning America rivalry, and the whole concept of the TV show. It's Steve Carell's character and Jennifer Aniston characters are the main hosts of like what they call it, the morning show, and then he gets in trouble for sexually assaulting multiple women on set. And it's just like the whole story. And then Reese Witherspoon's character comes in and takes over. So it's 2 female leads and just trying to like figure out the story and just kind of what the like sexual assault is like in the media. Because I think it's kind of based on the concept. Because was it Matt Lauer that left because of sexual assaulting someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole people, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's based on I think they got the concept from that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. When you said sexual assault, I was thinking it was Matt Lauer.
Yeah, because I think it's Matt Lauer. But that, and then I watched Bridgerton a couple weeks ago, and my god,
I need to sit down and watch it. Everybody is saying that it's so good.
And I'm like now listening because it's based on a book series, so I'm now listening to the audiobook. I'm like, I know what happens, but there's like 7 more books after this one, so there's like 8 total, and it's so like each season is going to be based off of one of the Bridgerton siblings. So like the first season is based off like Daphne's story, and then like the next season will be like Anthony's story.
Okay, so I need to see it. Everybody's raving about it.
Yeah,
that and WandaVision. I haven't seen that.
I feel like I need to go through the Marvel series because I've seen some of the Marvel movies. I want to go through it in order, and I feel like I need to do that before I watch WandaVision.
Yeah,
because I know my little sister's a big Marvels fan and she's loving it.
Yeah, I've never so I personally have never liked Wanda or Vision. So I told myself I'm not going to watch the show because I don't want to I just don't like them as characters.
Yeah.
And then
I hear it's
everybody's talking
incredible.
about it. Yeah, I hear it's so great. Like my brother was like, if you don't start watching it now, you're gonna feel like you're left out. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. He's like, you're gonna feel like you're left out. So now I'm like kind of thinking about it. But I really don't like Wanda. Like the
Really?
Scarlet Witch. Yeah, she's never been like
When did she come in? What movie?
Oh, she came in, I want to say Age of Ultron. So she has a brother. And okay, so
Yes, I remember that now. And he died.
yeah.
Right?
And so in the comic, they're not twins. She's
Mm.
much younger than him. And in the X-Men series, so like, X-Men also had his character there too. And it's a
Wait. X-Men and Marvel overlap?
So X-Men is part of Marvel, but the MCU, okay, so the MC universe had not bought the rights to the X-Men movies. It's all part of Marvel. Like it's all in. So the X-Men I'm pretty sure there's comics where the X-Men and the Avengers are together. Like it's crossing over. Like it's all in the same. So the two comic book things are Marvel and DC. X-Men is part of Marvel, but the MCU and X-Men for whatever reason are owned by two different companies. But I'm pretty sure the company that owns MCU just bought X-Men. So hopefully they will start, but they haven't done any crossovers yet.
Interesting.
Because the last couple, like my favorite superhero movie of all time is Days of Future Past, which is apparently is everybody's least favorite. But I thought that was such a good movie. But like after that, all of the X-Men movies kind of went. So hopefully they'll reboot it and it'll be better.
I saw that they're doing like another Black Panther movie, but it's based on his sister.
Okay, good. Because
I think they needed a prequel to it, to be honest.
I disagree, but I don't want anybody else to play Black Panther.
No, I agree. I think what they need is like explaining the whole Wakanda universe.
Okay, yeah.
I want more of that. I want the explanation, like how did they come about? Like I want the whole behind the scenes. I want to hear his like dad's story and like the brother's story and how they like, because I know they touched on it, but I really want more of a deep dive.
Yeah, I agree. That was more of like some of that you kind of had to already know. And honestly, I want to like for the most part, most of the superhero like MCU movies, I feel like they did a good job. You didn't have to know stuff, but I do feel like Black Panther was one of them you kind of had to know a little bit. Yeah. But I also think that's because I feel like it was rushed to do the full like Infinity War and Endgame. Like they had to start. We gotta get this out.
Yeah, that's a good point. But speaking of, are you gonna watch Super Bowl this weekend?
Yeah, because my family's gonna make me. I know they're both red.
Yeah, so this weekend it's Tom Brady and the Buccaneers versus Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in Tampa Bay. Did you know this is the first time someone like the Super Bowl is played at one of the team's home fields?
Oh, it's not normally at the home field.
No. Because they want to keep it like neutral as possible. So they always like have out, okay, like this is where it's going to play. Like that's already predetermined. But this is the first time it's been a team in the Super Bowl is going to be playing at home.
Okay, I do know, I did know about Tom Brady because I know he played for the Patriots, and you should not like the Patriots, and he deflated a football. I do know that. So, is it Tom Brady's home team?
Yes. So he's the Buccaneers.
Ooh, I like this. This is
and so the Buccaneers are playing in their stadium, Tampa Bay. So it's gonna be like the old guard versus the new guard, which because Patrick Mahomes is kind of like the young guy really coming up, playing well. But let's talk about the more important stuff. Okay, the national anthem will be sung by Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan. So Eric Church is a country music star. Do you know who Jasmine Sullivan is?
Nope.
Yeah, never heard of her. The halftime show is The Weeknd, which I don't care for his music. I'm not excited. Apparently, he's not bringing out any special guest.
Okay, so to be honest, when I think of The Weeknd, I think of like very like sexual, like I like him. Oh,
Yeah.
let me back up. I like his voice. Like, I don't know, his music is very like sensual. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Maybe not sexual, sensual. Like, it feels very like, you know, if I was married and we were going to have some sort of relationship, I would play that in the background. So I'm kind of confused what he's going to play at the Super Bowl.
I was kind of, because usually they go kind of like old, new.
Bring anybody else out.
And yeah, he's not bringing anyone out. But usually,
That's
like
lame.
usually every year with the Super Bowl, they have someone like, okay, like this is a modern person versus, and then they're gonna get like an oldie, like someone from like the 80s or whatever. Because you notice how they kind of alternate. Well, last year it was J-Lo and Shakira, and I felt like that were more newer people. Like that wasn't old. But
that was I remember that was very controversial.
Which is funny. It's just like, we thought that was the biggest problem last year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we thought, yeah. Little did we know.
That was only last year. But the last thing I want to say about the Super Bowl, this is the first time a woman has been a referee in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah. So those are all your stories for the week. Mel, anything else you want to
add? Nope. I would just say we have cute merch on our site. We also have a button if you'd like to donate to help pay for the podcast and like to expand this message. Anything else? Oh, please rate, comment, and review. Share with your friends.
Yep.
That's it.
And buy merch. All right, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. We'll talk to y'all later. God.
Bye, everybody.